Hi, my name's Kevin Harper. I want to show you, I've been wanting to do a video on Excel for a long time. I love Excel. I mean, my wife doesn't understand why I love it, but it's awesome, not just for numbers. Most people think of Excel as being mostly for numbers, but Excel is awesome for text as well. And as an SEO guy, I'm all about content. And so I use Excel for building content. I use it for building HTML. For different pieces of content, writing meta descriptions in bulk for a large list of cities, perhaps, or subdivisions, that type of thing. And if you just learn a few commands, formulas in Excel, you'll get to be a whiz at it, and you'll love it. Especially if you do any kind of SEO work on your own website at all. So I just want to show you a few things. I've got an Excel spreadsheet here that I've opened up. And I'm just going to have a few columns, and I'm going to fill these out for you so you can kind of see how this works. So let's say that you want to, let's say you have a list of cities in your state. I'm in the state of Idaho. I work all over the country, but I'm going to just work with a list of cities in the state of Idaho. And then I'm going to create URLs and some meta descriptions, based on those city names in the state of Idaho. So let me grab my list of cities in Idaho. I'm going to paste them here in my list of cities. That's a heading. These are going to be headings. Make those bold. And actually I want to just move this up a notch. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is write a meta description that's going to work for these cities that you can use in your HTML of the page. And so typically a meta description, meta descriptions are not really great for SEO. They're more for click-through ratios. The meta description is what you see if your page shows up in Google search results. It's what you see, the little snippet on Google. So what you want to write is something that's going to encourage people to click through to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself an extra row here, and this here is a sample so you can see what the substitute command looks like on screen and write that down. But I'm going to actually type my boilerplate text here into this field here. So I'm going to say click here to view city name, and this is going to be a placeholder, city name, homes for sale, and other real estate listings in city name, comma, Idaho. Please call Kevin for more information at 208-249-8893. That's a reasonably good meta description for a page related to a city of listings. So I'm going to hit return on that, and that's just going to act as my boilerplate, meta description. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize that for each of these cities, and you'll see it just a snap. It's crazy easy. So I'm going to type equals substitute, and open the parenthesis. And I'm going to click on that meta description boilerplate that I just typed, and I'm going to put my cursor up here and put a comma and then a quote, open a quote, and the text that I want to replace is city name, and then another comma, and then the text I want to replace it with is no quote this time, just leave a comma and then click the cell that you want to replace that content with. So in other words, I'm going to replace this block of text that I wrote. It's going to search through that, and it's going to replace the word city name with the cell next to that. And I'm going to close my parenthesis and hit return. Okay, so now you can see that I have a meta description that says click here to view Aberdeen homes for sale and other real estate listings in Aberdeen, Idaho. Please call Kevin for more information at, and here's my phone number. Now, I'm not a realtor. This is just a sample for you guys as realtors. So now, but the problem is when I carry this field down, this formula down to the next cell, it's going to want to make it relative, and so I have to do something, a little trick in here. I'm going to delete that, and it's going to, instead of doing the search and replace on this, when I move it down, it's going to do it on this, and it doesn't work. So we have to go up here into this formula, and we're going to lock in column the number 2, so that the number 2 with the $ in front of it won't change anymore as I move down. And just to make this formula, well, that's fine. That's all I need to do. So now if I fill this down, by those of you who are not keyboard minded, you can drag down. I can just go to all the way down here to the end of my list. 200 some odd cities in Idaho. Should be getting close. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to go up to File, make that Edit, and Fill Down. Actually, fill down right here. And all of a sudden, I have 260 some odd meta descriptions written. All I got to do is copy and paste those. And if I wanted to actually put this together to form some HTML, I could do that as well. So, for instance, and I'll just do that real quickly. I'm going to add myself a column here. And I'm going to say, I'll call this meta HTML. So, in other words, this is the actual text that goes in the meta description, but I'm going to actually make the HTML to stick into that if I don't already have that. So if you're using a content management system, you probably don't need this. If you are writing pure HTML to put into pages, then you might need this. So if I were to write the HTML, what I'm going to do is use the concatenate command, and it looks like this: =, concatenate, CONCATENATE, open parenthesis, and then the cell that you want to start with, comma, and then whatever you want to append it with in quotes. So appended by this, end quote, and parenthesis, hit return. That's the basic formula, and I'm going to put these in red so you can kind of see those, my sample formulas, so you have that on screen. All right, so now that I'm going to implement that on this list here, and I'm going to say equals concatenate, and I'm going to start my meta description. So it's going to say meta name equals, I'm going to use a single quote rather than a double quote since I'm inside of my double quotes. Meta name equals description, content equals, single quote, and then double quote, because now I'm going to switch over to select a cell. I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to just fill that next. So that's going to be inserted in between this these double quotes, or these single quotes. So now I'm going to put another comma and a double quote because I'm going to start up quoting again, and then a single quote because this is the end of the single quote encapsulation of the meta description there. Hope I'm not going over your head here, but slow the video down and pause it if you need to understand this, because it's really cool and it will save you tons of time, hours and hours of time, if you're doing any kind of heavy lifting with crunching data for this kind of HTML. And then we're going to close our meta tag with a slash, since it's a self-closing, and end it there with and then put a quote and closing parenthesis. All right. So now I'm going to go all the way down here, hit return, and then Control D, which will fill that down, and now all of a sudden I've got all of my meta descriptions for this. All right. So if I copy this and put this into a text document, you'll see that I've got a nicely formed meta description tag for the HTML. Okay, close that. Now let's say that I'm plugging all this information into my content management system, and I'm just going to say with WordPress, I'll form some URLs. So now we can have a list of URLs of all these city pages. So you don't have to actually copy and paste and visit the website and copy and paste this. You can do all the all the HTML building in advance, and then just plug this all into your content management system at another point. And so here's how we're going to do that. We're going to also use the concatenate command for this. I'm going to say equals concatenate, and let's say we got http://www.mydomain.com/ and let's say we're just going to call each of these pages the city name real estate. So every page is going to be called city name real estate. So Aberdeen-real-estate. And if we're using WordPress, then it's going to basically put a slash at the end of it with dashes for the spaces. So we're going to, I'm going to type mydomain.com there, put an end quote, and we're going to concatenate, which means just basically string together several pieces of text. And I'm going to put a comma and go over to this and click on that cell, Aberdeen, and put an in parenthesis. And so now this is the link for that page, but you'll notice that it's got a capital A in there, and it's not going to put a dash for cities like this that are more than one word. It's not going to have that in there. It's not going to have the trailing slash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this formula, put a comma and a quote and a trailing slash on it, and then I'm going to do a substitute in front of the whole thing, and take that whole formula and substitute every occurrence of a space with an occurrence of a dash, and then close the parenthesis. Now that doesn't change Aberdeen, but you'll notice it will change like American Falls. And then I want to do one more thing and take this whole formula and put the command lower on it and end the parenthesis, and that's going to lower it so it's all lowercase. And so now I've got a final formula to construct these URLs. I'm going to use my command down arrow to jump to the bottom of this list here, and then go over and command up. So now all I have to do is do command D, and I've got all of my list of URLs. And you'll see that for cities like American Falls that have more than one word in it, it's got a nice dash in there, it's all lowercase, and it's got the slash on the end of it. And then one last power user technique here. We can create a list of links out of this that's nicely search engine optimized for whatever keywords that you want to go after, whether that's real estate or homes for sale. I'm sorry, I forgot to do one more thing. We were going to make the page name Aberdeen real estate. Basically, you can use the concatenate. I won't bore you with doing that again and doing that over. But what I'll do is in the link list, in other words, the li command, the ul and the li command, and the href command, we're gonna put those keywords real estate in there. So I'm going to start off with the concatenate command, equals concatenate, open a parenthesis, and I'm going to do a quote and start off my ahref equals command, or HTML snippet, and single quote followed by a double quote because I'm quoting this snippet of text, and now I'm going to put a comma and grab that URL and put that in there. And now another comma because I want to close that single quote with it. Start off with a double quote because I'm quoting again, and then put a single quote in there, and end my href tag, and then a quote again, and then a comma because now I have this word Aberdeen that I want to put as the anchor text. That's going to be my anchor text. And now I can put a comma again and then a quote and then type real estate, so that the anchor text for this page is going to be Aberdeen real estate. And I just want to check where I'm at in my HTML here. So now I'm going to put my closing A tag, and closing quote and closing parenthesis, and you can see that I'm almost done. This is actually a list of links that I'm going to be creating on this field, and might as well just edit it to put the li command or HTML in front of it. So right in front of that ahref, I'm going to put li, and right at the end of the anchor HTML, I'm going to put the closing li tag. Now you can see that I've got a list element with an anchor text of Aberdeen real estate pointing to the page that's mydomain.com/Aberdeen. And all this is now, I'm going to jump down to the end of my list and then hold down the shift key so I select everything going up to it, and then do command D to fill down, and then command copy, and excuse me, that phone here. And I'm going to paste this into a text file just so you can see what it looks like in a browser, and I'm going to put the UL at the end of it and the UL in front of it, and just save it so you can see what it looks like in a browser. And I'm going to just call it citylist.html. I'm going to just go down here, citylist, open this up, and there's my list of cities. Okay, so 200 some odd cities. I just built that entire list in just a few minutes here, and all using Excel. Excel is awesome, and there's just, the more you learn these 2 or 3 commands, the 3 that I would focus on are lower, because you're going to need to lower case a lot of things for URLs, and concatenate for stringing pieces of text together, and substitute, and then learn how to lock in, instead of having the relative formula so that the formula references the next cell down, learn how to lock in that top cell when you're using your substitute command. So I hope you've learned something, and this is truly very powerful for SEO and doing any kind of bulk SEO work on your site to build up the quantity of pages and the quality of those pages. So good luck. Hope you enjoyed it.